everybody. Welcome back to another episode with me. And today, first, I'm Jenny Acord. I'm a marriage coach. I love the Lord, and I'm married to my best friend, Rick. I believe that every marriage has the potential to grow deeper, to be more connected, and to live a life that they are thrilled to be a part of this marriage that they have. But here's the thing. I don't want you to wait until you're in crisis to be building that marriage. I want you to do it on purpose with purpose. So today we're going to be talking about a conversation that I believe that every couple should be having. And not just one time a year, but I want you to start creating habits where you do this and you keep having these kinds of conversations. And I'll show you why it's really important in today's talk. So, and really the reason isn't because your marriage is in trouble or even that there's something wrong. It's about being intentional, building conversations that have the power to change the direction of your marriage. It's like, have you ever driven on autopilot? Okay, so I got to tell you this story because here's the thing about driving on autopilot. You might be driving and then you end up someplace that you didn't intend to go because you were not really paying attention to what was going on around you. I may do that. So there's this one time we were going to Chicago. No, we weren't going to Chicago. We were going to Indiana. We almost ended up in Chicago. We were driving from Missouri to Indiana. Our family lives in Indiana, and we actually drive to Indiana a couple of times a year. We take the same route every single time. I know the route. It's very familiar. And so my husband gets us through St. Louis, and we switch driving. He starts working on his homework. He's in his master's degree, okay? My daughter's in the back seat. She's sleeping. So he says to me, in about an hour, we're going to stop, and we're going to grab some lunch. Ahead and get us there. He's going to work on his stuff. And so as he's doing all that, I'm just driving along, enjoying the time and listening to my music. And next thing I know, like an hour goes by, and we're in 15. I start like looking around and I'm wondering where's the city because we're supposed to be coming up on it so that we can grab lunch. So I asked him, I said, "Hey babe, I thought you said in about an hour, we're going to grab lunch." And come to find out, I had missed our turn. I was just driving, not really paying attention, not being intentional. And we ended up halfway to Chicago instead of in Indiana. So we had to take another detour and get back on track. Now, the point of this story is marriage can be a lot like that. If you're not paying attention, you might end up someplace that you didn't want to be. Maybe you've taken a couple of wrong turns. Maybe you weren't really paying attention and things just kind of went by, like time does that to you. If that's happening to you in your marriage, it's okay. It's not too late. You can still do something about it. That's really the beauty of what this life that we've been given is. There's always second chances. There's always ways that we can refocus on what's going on in our marriage. You might have been kind of drifting in your marriage, just going on that autopilot thing, and really your conversations might look like, or your life looks like, you wake up, your kids, you pay your bills, you do the laundry, you watch another Netflix show. If you have any great suggestions for Netflix show, you can put them in the comments. We're always looking for fun new ones. You go to bed and then you do it all over again the next day. Weeks become months, months become years, and before long, you've built a life together, but you didn't stop and ask, where are we actually going? Today, I want to help you to have that kind of conversation. Rick and I have been married for over 30 years, 35 it was just a couple weeks ago, a little over a week ago, really. And like every couple, we've had busy seasons. Sometimes where there was so much that we had to do, it felt like there wasn't enough time in the day to do it. We're raising our kids. They've got sports and we've got schedules and church work and all the really good things. And I know you've heard me say this before, but it's true. We were investing in so many good things, loving God and serving people and we do believe that that's a part of our God-given gifts and our calling that He's asked us to step into. But what happened was in our marriage, we decided really early that we were going to build a family and be intentional about making sure that our kids knew that we were there and that we were present. And we were also committed to serving God and loving people. We, in our family, we went to all the games, we showed up for our kids. The problem became that we started getting so focused on pouring out that we weren't pouring into our marriage. And maybe that resonates with you, that there's something about the life that you're living that you're pouring so much out. It feels like there's not much left to give when you get home to invest in your marriage. And I want to challenge you today. If that's where you find yourself, there is something that you can do about it. And that's the conversation I want you to start having. Because what we realized is that we weren't talking about our dreams anymore or where we really wanted our marriage to go. We weren't having those intentional conversations, the deeper ones that are really important. And we were talking less about our hearts and more about the logistics. So I want to draw you a picture. And I want you to imagine, I'm going to do it with this color, that hopefully you can see this. And this is an iceberg, okay? So if you imagine, here's your water line. The iceberg is the top of the board there, right? Where you can see. Can you see that very well? Looks like my light's shining right on it. Ah, there we go. Okay, so you've got your iceberg. It's the top portion of your iceberg is that stuff that you guys talk about, the topics of conversation, your schedules, your kids, lots and lots of conversation about the kids, your finances, whatever. And it's and for the sake of math skills, and if you know me, math is a little challenging for me, so let's keep it pretty simple. We're going to say that 10% of what's going on in life is about this stuff up here. Your schedule, your kids, the money, your sex life, your bills, whatever it is that you find yourself talking about. What are we having for dinner? We have lots and lots of those conversations. We spend 90% or more of our time focusing on the 10% that we see and know about our stories and about our life together. What I want to challenge you to do today, and what I'm going to give you some skills and some tips around how to do this, is I want you to start thinking about what's actually going on underneath the surface. What's going on inside of our heart, inside of our stories, that's connected to the things that we're talking about. Because if we keep our conversation shallow, our relationship will feel shallow and can often lead to feeling disconnected and alone. You start refocusing and understanding the story, start learning about your hearts and the emotions connected to what's going on in your life and what's been happening. And then the depth of the relationship grows, your intimacy and your connection grows. And that's where I want to take you today in this simple kind of shift around what are we talking about in our marriage relationship. Because the quality of your marriage is often determined by the quality of your conversations. The quality of your marriage is often determined by the quality of your conversations. What kind of conversations are you having? If you look back and you think about all the things that you've been talking about, is it the 10% or is it the other 90%, refocusing, understanding what's really going on in your story and really having a heart connection? Because I think most couples are asking the wrong questions. Most couples our conversations sound like, what type of practice are we, or what time is practice, right? Who's picking up the kids? Who's paying the electric bill? What are we picking up for dinner? These conversations are an important part of life, but they don't build that connection. So there's a huge difference, and the difference is where we focus. What are we learning about each other? What are you dreaming about lately? What's weighing on your heart today? What's been bringing you joy this month? Notice the tone of these kinds of questions shift from details to heart, to learning about the essence of who your spouse is, to understanding their story and understanding what it's been like to be them, to walk alongside them in the journey of life and really be known and to know and to be known. That's intimacy. Every marriage is moving in a direction. And the question is, are you choosing the direction that you're headed? Or is life simply just passing you by? So a question or the conversation can simply look like this. What do we want our marriage to become? Notice it isn't, what do we want to fix? What do we want to build? Shift your focus, because builders think differently. They imagine, they create. Builders dream. And that's exactly what healthy couples do. So if Rick and I were sitting with you today, these are the 5 questions that we would encourage you to discuss. Okay? And we've really shifted this in our marriage. Instead of talking about all the things that are wrong, but starting to refocus and really pay attention to what's going right. What's one thing? Here's question number 1. Okay? And you can write it down. But the question is this. What is one thing that you love about our marriage right now? That's a good question. What's one thing that you love about our marriage? Notice the shift. We're going to be looking at those heart things, the deeper emotional connection. I want you to start with gratitude, because gratitude opens up hearts. Criticism closes them. What are you paying attention to? Second question I want you to ask, where do you think that we might have been living on autopilot? Not with any kind of blame, just creating awareness. Where are some ways that maybe we are headed to Chicago when we meant to go to Indiana? Question number 3. What? What do you miss doing together? What do you miss doing together? Maybe there were some things that you did early on in your marriage that you really enjoyed, or maybe time has shifted and you started learning new things and then you stopped doing them together. What do you miss doing together? This one can bring some smiles because it will help you to remember the things that have happened that have been good in your marriage. Date nights, road trips, adventures, laughing, walking together, dreaming, whatever those things are. What do you miss doing together? Question number 4. If our marriage felt incredible 1 year from now, what would be different? Not perfect, just healthier, closer, more intentional. What is it 1 year from now that we hope that we grow in, that we want to learn or explore or experience together? And question number 5. What's one thing, don't pick a whole bunch, one thing that we can start doing this week that could change things, that could impact the direction of where we're headed? Now, you might think of a whole lot of things that would be important, but focus on the stuff that's connected underneath, not the stuff on the top. Okay? One small, intentional step changes the direction. This is how momentum begins. So here is your challenge this week. I want you to schedule a marriage vision date. Okay? Not just another date night, but be really intentional about scheduling a time where you can just dream together, create some vision, ask these questions, grab a cup of coffee, go somewhere special, and just connect on a deeper level. Maybe it's taking a walk or sitting on the porch. Leave your phones behind. I'm constantly saying that. I don't want distractions. We're going to be really intentional about building our life together and spending time with each other. And then I want you to just ask the questions and listen. Listen to the heart of your spouse. Dream together. Laugh together. And really pray. Pray that God would help the two of you as you build this marriage and make it something that you're thrilled to be a part of. Don't wait until you're in crisis. Be proactive. Do it now so that you can continue building a marriage that really changes the patterns and the history of how things have been done and moves towards something that's powerful and shifts generation after generation after generation. You leave a legacy. And I think that the heart to leave a legacy is really important. So here's what I want you to remember today. The strongest marriages aren't built on the grand gestures. They're built intentionally through small, repeated conversations over time. That's why I said at the beginning, this isn't a conversation I want you to have one and done. I want you to repeatedly have this and build those habits to connect on a deeper level. It can completely change the direction of your marriage. Direction is more important than doing it quickly. Great marriages don't happen by accident. They are built intentionally. Your marriage is a message. Let's make it one worth echoing. So if today's conversation made you realize that you were made for more in your marriage, I want to invite you to apply for a marriage vision call with me. During this private conversation, it's where we're going to explore your marriage, where it is today, and then where you'd like it to be. That's pretty exciting. And then we're going to decide if you're a really good candidate for the Elite Marriage Coaching Program. Because if that's the right next step for you, I want you to know that I only pick a few couples at a time so that I can intentionally spend the time and give you the attention that you deserve to build your marriage with accountability, coaching, encouragement, so that you build the marriage that you see happening in your future. If you'd like me to come alongside of you, I'd be honored to sit with you in that marriage call, see if it's the right fit for you. If not, I'll give you resources and send you in the right direction so you can continue building your marriage on purpose with purpose. If you're ready to stop drifting and start building, I put the link in the comments, and I also put it in the description. So if you want to click on that and apply for a marriage vision call, I'd be happy to meet with you. It's about 45 minutes long. We'll go over where you want to see your marriage go and how I can come alongside of you to do that, or other resources that would be important. Until next Tuesday, I want you to keep thinking, what kind of a marriage do we want to build? I'll see you then. Bye.